Say, kids, what time is it?
It's kind of like watching TV, but, in your car.
Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens in the studio.
Hey.
It is Dark Side of the Stream episode 203. This week was
It's a
Jay's
nice number.
pick. It is the episode on Max called Chimp. Crazy.
Yeah, I felt like we had to do it.
Well, it talks about something that happens in our great state
right
of
here,
Missouri.
right here at Lake of the Ozarks, my stomping grounds.
Well, kind of. It's Festus is actually closer to St. Louis, in that area. But
she's also got a shindig up there
yeah.
by Frankie and Louie's up
yeah,
there, the petting zoo thing.
So this starts off with the guy who made this documentary, same guy who did Tiger King, by the way.
That's what hooked me.
And so knowing that going in, kind of knew that it was going to be an expose about this world because, of course, he, with Tiger King, went into the whole exotic animal trading and how some of these guys operate.
I'm glad this one did not come with the pandemic.
This one was also, I wouldn't say as crazy, but at the same time it is. It starts off obviously saying that in the great state of Missouri, there's not a whole lot of laws when it comes to animals and what kind of animals you can have. What do you think about that, JC?
Yeah, who knew Missouri was one of the states you could just own a monkey or own a gorilla or
you think it's like one of those cases where
a zebra,
where they basically like it's one of those laws that are like we didn't really think of having this because
well, it's like the one in Washington where up until like not too long ago you could still make out with animals or something like that. It was okay. Do you need a law for that? But okay, I guess we do.
It's really crazy to me that at this point now, what that do we actually have to have laws to tell people like, hey, you shouldn't do this?
Common sense laws.
Common sense you think like would say, hey, this isn't the right thing, but at the same time, some people need to be told that. In this case, deals with a woman who basically would take in and rescue chimpanzees, mammals that were sometimes used in Hollywood films.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting in that aspect. And then they actually bring in an actor who acted in one of these films.
Yeah, I remember that
one
guy.
of these chimps. And he was actually, after he did that, one of the biggest proponents to help get these guys freed.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that next. Dark Side of the Stream continues on 104.7. 104.7 The K. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio discussing Chip Crazy on Max.
I was bummed it was not as funny as Tiger King. That's what I was hoping for.
See, that's the thing.
I was hoping for that.
I thought I was kind of I was hoping that it would be, but I mean, straight out of the gate, we were watching these chimps and stuff in cages, and she's like talking about how much she loves them and she's playing with him, but his paw is underneath the cage.
Right.
And he's like trying to, and I'm like, do you, as a human being, really think that that's where he wants to be?
Not good. Yeah.
If you think that they're like us and you think that they're like having an actual human child, which is literally verbatim what one of them says,
that other lady does,
and how she
dresses
them,
him up and walks him around the town. And
then you also have to consider the fact that they might actually have the same kind of human feelings that we have.
Yes.
And if that's the case, why in the hell would they want to be in a cage like that?
I dated an animal trainer from Universal Studios for a little while. I've told you this story.
A new story.
I've told you this before. No,
not.
Yeah, for a while in LA, she worked in the animal show at Universal. So she would bring home the Beethoven dog all the time, and this little monkey, a little capuchin monkey, and I'd be sleeping, and it'd be in my head, grooming me. I'd wake up to him like digging.
Get a little life.
Yeah, trying to just clean me up a little bit. That's another story that I'll tell you off the air because I can't quite. But he would wear a diaper, and I got to hang out with baby tigers. I got to hang out with one time. Yeah.
Are you about to tell me some story? You got a DD from some animal at Universal
I've got a funny story. Well, it's slightly RX rated, but about so I have to tell you off the air. But yeah, you know me, I'm always in crazy situations.
Hear this one. But yeah. I thought it was also pretty badass that obviously this director had made a name for himself in the exotic animal world. And I'm sure he's like, do not talk to this guy, number one.
Yeah.
So he, in his brilliance,
he's a slickster,
hires a proxy director who had actually had some dealings in the exotic animal world. I actually
had a little clout.
Had done some time because of it. And he's like, hey, man, you want to help me do this? And he goes, sure. And that was how they got in with this guy. I thought that was
slick.
Absolutely brilliant.
Very good.
But then, it's the same story. You walk in behind those gates and you see this thing, and it's just like, what gives this person the credentials, the right, the wherewithal, the knowledge to like just think that they can take this on and make this right for these animals?
Well, they're cute when they're little.
Yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
is that just like tigers?
So yeah, so are
puppies, you know?
lions. I mean,
But
alligators
these
look adorable when they're
These
babies.
things get big, and then it's like, dude, they'll jack you up.
I mean, there's something to be said for like rescues, like if they were, in a circus and they were being abused or whatever, like you've got to get them out. I get it, but like for at one point early on, they said if you had a domestically born and bred chimpanzee in this country, there was like an 80% chance it came from this one woman.
Wow.
Which let's rewind just a minute. Domestically bred.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we breeding chimps for?
Dude.
You know, I mean, like.
And it's right here. It's right here in Missouri, man.
To exploit and to make a lot of money, which writing's on the wall, in my opinion. We'll get to more next. Dark Side of the Stream continues on 104.7 The Cave. Sorry, that break was a little longer. Jay had to tell me his X-rated story on 104.7 The Cave. Dark Side of the Stream, episode 203. And if you ever see him on the street, you asked him about what happened personally, and I can't wait for him to tell you it himself. Either way, we are discussing the documentary series Chip Crazy on Max. We've talked about kind of the foundation of this thing, and then obviously how they got into this world again with this director is just so smart. None of these people are going to trust anyone anymore after this thing. But then, of course, Alan Cumming comes into this, and you're like, what the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Why is he involved in this? Well, he worked on a film called Buddy, and it involved one of these chimpanzees. And then later he come to find out after he bonded with this. And in his story about working with this animal was really heartwarming. He said that they bonded, every time he'd come on set, he'd want to jump out and go run to him, but he was so trained, he'd just look at the trainer and then he'd go get him a hug.
He'd roll up in jeans, t-shirt, this little monkey man. He was looking like a little dude.
And again, you make a bond with these things and you care about him. Well, then years later, he finds out what's actually going on with these animals, and he joins with PETA to try and get them out of there, raise awareness to the fact that this isn't right. And then
Buddy disappears.
Yeah. It wasn't just him that disappeared. There was that one, was it Kong? Or he was like that bit the dude's nose off.
Yeah.
And then he just disappeared.
Yeah. So what's going on?
I mean, we all know what the hell.
They said, he died mysteriously.
We all know what the hell is going on. Bit the dude's nose off, and they put him down, which is just horrific.
Well, spoiler alert. Then she hid one of them. She stole them and hid them.
Well, she tried. She tried. But again, like the point being, these are very dangerous and undomesticatable animals. You cannot. It's one thing to try and domesticate a cat, like a cat. You can barely domesticate a cat because.
If cats were bigger, they would jack you up.
I mean, come on. And if you can't domesticate this little tiny thing, what the hell do you think you're going to do when that chimpanzee just all of a sudden sees something that doesn't like it? I mean, how many times have we heard about a chimpanzee like mauling someone's face?
Dude. Yep, they get mad, and they that's what they do. They go for the things that make you human. They go for your fingers, your eyeballs, your groin. That's what they go for.
And it's horrific. Ugh. Why would you put yourself in that position?
Plus, they're so strong. They're so much stronger than us.
And again, if that guy losing his nose was the least thing that could have happened to him, it could have been a lot worse.
How do you do that?
But again, it was just it was sad. It was very sad. Sad story. Nobody wins. And we'll talk about that while Jay tries to.
I was trying to remember how to. You got your nose. I got your nose. Remember you do the kids? Is that how you do it?
Got your nose.
Got your nose.
We'll be back with our reviews of this documentary next. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The K. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio one more time. Dark Side of the Stream episode 203, and we did Chimp Crazy on Max. So all in all, I think everyone got theirs. What do you think?
Yeah. And she ended up being cool with the actual director, and when he said, "Hey,
guess what?
Surprise! We've been making a documentary," and she was like, "Okay." She was just so self-centered or attention, maybe wanting, I
think at that point she knew what was up, and at the very least, like how they say, no bad news or any publicity is good publicity or whatever.
One thing in common with these animal people, they're a little weird, right?
You think? You think?
I mean, I'm a little weird too, but they're weird in a very they're weird in a weird, but they're all weird in their own weird way. Like they have a common weirdness.
There's so many red flags. That's like I don't know. But again, we started off with this is like there really shouldn't have to be a law to tell you that you shouldn't do certain things. But because people are stupid and people are people, guess what we have to do? We have to have laws for people that just don't have any common sense.
Like that documentary, The Zoo, with Mr. Hands, the horse. They had to make a rule because of that guy's operation.
You know what I mean?
Google that if you want to
That's
find out what he
crazy.
was doing.
It's crazy. So over and all, above that, I really, I would have to give this one.
How many bananas?
3 bananas, just because.
Oh, I'm going 2. It was my pick, and I'm going 2 bananas.
It wasn't like it was just. I want to give them.
It didn't make you feel happy at all.
I want to give them more credit for the genius way they were able to get behind closed doors and get these people on camera, and then bringing it to intention. I thought it was hands down. That's where they get the 3. But it was just horribly depressing, dude. Like I was just like watching this. It's just I felt so bad for those animals. Just horrible for those animals. Just awful. So as we do, we are going to pick another documentary or series to watch. And in the spirit of the holiday, Unsolved Mysteries has got a couple new episodes up on Netflix, including one about Roswell. That is the one that I've watched so far, and it's fantastic.
So are we doing it on just Roswell?
No. Watch them all, and then we can either watch them. They're all good, but I just wanted to preface this because the last round we did with Unsolved Mysteries, we poo-pooed on it. Because there was someone we were like, why are we
because they rehashed
why are we rehashing
with no new info.
But I just wanted to tell you though, because I felt the same way looking, I was like, are we doing Roswell again? Well, it's actually pretty detailed.
I like that.
To the point of like every single person, their line, where their involvement was, and like all the things that actually
Roswell is definitely an interesting case study.
That's where the lid came off, in my opinion, about this whole thing. And
that was that was the headline in the newspaper the next day.
It's crazy how it went down. It's crazy how many people have you ever heard about every broadcaster in that area getting threatened with losing their license?
And the spin, the government first said we found a UFO, and then they spun it.
If you don't say it this way, we're going to revoke your FCC license.
The 2 different planes with
Why
the 2 different bodies.
Why would they care about that so much if it was a weather balloon?
Right.
We're going to
there
find
was some
out.
Weirdness.
Unsolved Mysteries is your homework assignment. You can watch us do this on Facebook every Thursday at 9 a.m. or YouTube at the same time. I play it during my show at 9 a.m. or Jay plays it during his show at 6 p.m. every Thursday, or to listen to it for free as a podcast on our free 104.7 The Cave app. I'm Mike the Intern. That's Jay Stevens reminding you
we watch documentaries,
movies, so you don't have to. It's Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave.